It's like
I'm gonna say something that's unpopular.
What's new?
Right. I don't think that I can name an executive in hip hop from end to end that's more impressive than Birdman. I don't think I can. The longevity's insane.
Mike, the business practices just aren't there for you to say
That's
that.
bad. The business practices, that's one thing. But if,
That's a big thing.
that's
It's
a
the
huge-
music business.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's alleged. And again,
Is that what we're doing?
it's true though. It's
some
true.
bullshit. No,
Cool.
we're not. No, Master P. Fuck that shit.
But see, no, I'm
No.
talking about the
no,
resume.
You're not about to sit up there and throw somebody out that we know been raping people from years, including the main artist who made him what he is. No, that's what we not doing up
But
here.
again, those are alleged,
No.
Coop.
That
I
ain't
don't.
no alleged, Mike. They been lost, Mike. Come on.
He has lawsuits,
Ain't
right?
no alleged, Mike. Ain't no alleged.
I guess what I'm
we
saying.
all know what time it is.
Let's look at the record.
And ain't no
stuff.
disrespect to him.
No,
but it's
no.
like,
I feel what you're
Mike,
saying.
Mike, Rick Ross got a whole song about it. Wayne done been in legal battles about it.
It's-
Drake and Nicki done stopped letting him go into the club for birthday parties about it. Like, there's obviously something there, Mike.
But why do artists keep dealing with them then?
Because it's a dirty game, Mike.
Because again, he put Young Thug
I
on.
would go
Really,
fuck with Master P.
he got Young Thug over that
I
hump.
fuck with Master P.
He got
You're not
NBA
gonna- you're not-
YoungBoy.
you're not gonna
NBA
rape
YoungBoy
me.
is rocking with him right now.
That's cool. Like kudos to them.
But again,
I
listen,
ain't that one.
listen. I'm looking at things
You
from
ain't about
afar.
to. You ain't about to take from me and think that just because you giving me some breaks, no, nigga.
No, but see, this is the thing, though,
No.
Coop. It's like,
Don't play
I
that
hear
shit.
what you're saying, but he's clearly still able to function in this business and continue to, break artists.
I don't want to talk about people's like intelligence level, but for somebody like me who's knowledgeable and intelligent, he ain't about to do somebody like me like that. That's why I'm not with
You're
the shit.
you're looking at the track
Education,
record on that.
information. See, should definitely.
I
read your
understand what you're
motherfucking
saying,
contract.
Coop.
Hire an attorney.
Coop, I get you. You're looking at,
He's worse than Puff.
You're looking at his track record on one end, right? But when we talking about what he's been able to do for artists' career and launching artists over different eras, it's not a lot of people who have that resume to match. From the Hot Boys, what Juvenile was able to do, and what Wayne was able to do, and then obviously you get the Nicki Drake thing. Then you get the NLE Choppers of the world. Then you get the Young Thugs of the world. Then you get NBA Young Boys of the world. I don't think there's anybody who finds talent over different spans of time that we could put over Birdman. Can you at least give him that part of finding the talent
Finding the talent.
and cultivating the talent?
No,
Why? I mean, it's there, and I love Master P.
he cultivated Wayne.
Yeah,
He cultivate these
you
other
don't think
guys.
he cultivated
I think
NBA Young Boy?
First of all, I think this whole new generation that he has is strictly off of Wayne's back and has very little to do with him.
Well, I agree with that to an extent.
So after the Hot Boys and Cash Money, it's like no, I don't count any. How about this? You're counting his shit. I count that as Wayne shit because I'm like, well, if Wayne ain't there, ain't none of them there. Like all of them, them slew of people you just named, the Nicki, Drake, no, none of them are there. If Wayne
Well, I
don't
think
exist.
Nicki and Drake, obviously, right?
None of them are there.
But what
if Wayne
about
don't
Thug?
exist.
Because Thug
none of-
wasn't really rocking with Wayne like that.
None of them are there if Wayne doesn't exist. As in what he was able to do with Wayne and people's respect for Wayne as an artist and what he became. Because anybody like Mike, he literally went from being maybe the weakest rapper in their group to being one of the greatest rappers of all time. Now, Baby did do that and have something to do with that and put all the things in play to make it succeed. First of all,
Because
Mike,
they went and got Gilly
Mike-
and all those things.
right, Mike, but you want to know why that happened? Because he fucked up with Juvenile and BG.
Yeah.
Right. So this
He-
been a problem. So
he
it's
lost
like,
Manny.
So it's like you lost Juvenile, you lost BG, you lost Manny. So that's 3 losses, but you got Wayne. So it's like I'm gonna give you that, but everything after that is not him. That's Wayne.
How do you think he got Thug then?
The influence of doing what he did for Wayne. That's why I'm saying somebody like Thug can look at what he did for Wayne in
Right.
that transition and be like, no, I'll take that.
But he accomplished that, though.
And I'm going to give him that, but I'm not about to put him up on some pedestal because this is a music business and his business practices is fucked up.
All of their business practices are fucked up.
I mean, Mike, there's
So tell me, no.
There's
no,
levels.
Since you want to do
There's
that,
levels
since you want to
to
do that,
this.
there's levels to all of it. But if you want to do that, tell me an executive in hip hop that no one has ever had any complaints about.
Scarface had issues with Jay Prince about his publishing once.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, Jay Prince's house, like Scarface built that house, quite frankly. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
straight up.
Straight up. So I'm not saying that there hasn't been. I'm just saying, Mike, there are some people that have been blatantly egregious. And when I look at what he did for Wayne, it's like, well, he did that, but he also took advantage of, Mike, you've heard Infrared.
Yeah.
You've heard idols become rivals. You've been hearing all the back talk for years. So it's like, for me, it's like, well, what you did for Wayne just cancels out how you fucked them over. That don't make you no good boss.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like
But
you feel me what I'm saying? It's
I
like,
guess what I'm
it's like
saying,
you elevated him, but you also fucked him the entire time you were elevating him. That is some fuck ass nigga shit to do to somebody that you call your son.
You know who's in the studio with him now, though?
I don't care.
Lil Uzi. I'm just saying, he's continuously able to bring forth new talent. And of all the people that we've talked about, as far as like the executives from that previous era, they don't really have the ability to launch new acts anymore in the way that Birdman still does for some reason.
Part of the reason how he does it, Mike, is he does it actually like behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, well, nobody really knows that like that. And also too, Mike, it's like not being funny. What is he really doing for these artists?
Again, they become superstars when they rock. Let me
NBA YoungBoy self-sufficient, Mike.
No, but he was no.
From his home.
He wasn't self-sufficient until he rocked with Birdman, though. So whatever it is that artists keep, working with him for, it seems to reap benefits. It does. We can't really deny the results. It's not like Birdman will work with somebody and then they just fall off a cliff. Like, NBA YoungBoy rocked with Birdman and became one of the biggest, stars in the game.
Sorry, you can't put the knife in my back 7 inches, pull it out 3, call it progress. Fuck all that.
This is the thing, though, and I hear what you're saying, but have you heard NBA YoungBoy say anything bad about Birdman?
Give it time.
I'm just saying,
give it time.
We can't.
No, what I'm saying is give it time, because here's why you're saying. Have I heard an NBA YoungBoy say something bad about him? No.
Have you heard Thug say anything bad about him?
No, but you know who has? Juvenile, BG.
But you know what?
Manny.
Hold on,
Wayne.
time out.
Give it time.
I
Mike.
hear what you're saying.
Give it time. You know who nobody's ever said anything bad about?
Coop.
Master P,
Coop.
Mike.
Obviously.
That's a real boss.
Yeah, but Coop, I hear what you're saying. The Juvenile thing, what was that, 20 years ago?
I said, give it time.
He's done an album with Birdman in recent times.
And he told you that was about business and money.
Yeah.
And not about the relationship.
And Juvenile has gone back to Cash Money various amounts of time.
That's about business. That's
exactly.
about
But
money.
If the business was so messed up to that degree, he would never go back.
No, you obviously had to do some things to make it right. That's what I'm saying. He's the type of boss that will take from you, but also like break your shit open too. Like, he'll open up the bank for you, but he'll also take money out the bank. That's not the type of boss that I want, when I can just go to Master P and Master P will actually, like, how about this? What Master P did for Snoop is leaps and bounds better than what Baby's done for any fucking artist he's ever had, and it's
you're
the truth.
Talking about,
and Snoop will tell you that.
Coop, you're talking about two different things. No. I think you're talking about an individual's integrity in relationship to their ability to find new talent. How many new talents has Master P found, let's just say, in a current era?
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like,
you're saying he found this talent.
And cultivated the talent.
Did he find this talent, or was this talent brought to him directly via Lil Wayne and through Lil Wayne's legacy? I don't think he sought out this talent like you did.
He somehow knows who's next, even with Blueface. Like, we can't deny those things. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Young talent seems to find Birdman, or he seems to find them somehow. And I can honestly say nobody in his age bracket specifically seems to be able to do that. And I got to acknowledge that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. Nobody from his era has been able to transcend in that manner. And
they all have legacies. You know what I mean? I'm sure they all could, like we talk about Deion Sanders, they all could go into, somebody's living room and talk about what they've done, the plaques that they've got. But somehow Birdman seems to get these young talents on board and make something out of them.
Well, also, too, Mike, most of the people in his position transitioned into other things other than music too. So let's not make it seem like they tried. No. Like, Master P works with James Lindsay, the owner of Rap Sacks, who we interviewed earlier this year. So
great brother.
So some of that you're talking about, well, he's the one that stayed.
Exactly.
It's like, no, Master P does other shit. Puff does other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because he stayed because I think he understands that he does have a gift in the music
Right.
cultivating process.
mean-
And he's always seen money in music where others kind of was like, okay, it's time to move on from music.
Right. So he might have doubled down on the music hustle, but most of those guys left for other hustles because the music money wasn't enough for what their ambitions were. Look at Jay, look at Puff, look at Russ before he went to Indonesia and whatever the hell is now and started doing yoga all the time. Like, no, these dudes like transitioned out of it because there was more money elsewhere. If he found the money in here, that's fine. That makes him a good businessman in the sense of sourcing out the finances, but that doesn't necessarily make him a good boss in this music business. Like you got.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things, but I understand what you're saying.
No, I think we're talking about the same thing because it's like I think you're talking about it from the perspective
from an A&R perspective is where I'm more so
right,
talking
but he's
about
not
it
an
from.
A&R.
I think he is. I think that we look at Birdman as a music mogul, as we should, but he is clearly a finder of talent of every era.
But Mike, this is what I keep trying to tell you. Did he really find these people? He's not an A&R because you
somehow they linked with him.
But listen to what you keep telling me. You keep telling me somehow, but you're not giving me any sort of explanation to saying that he actually sourced out this talent. Because I don't think he did. Because if he did, there would be stories about it. Like, give you an example.
He let these guys stay with him.
No, like this is what I mean. There would be some sort of pipeline to it. Like, what's his name?
All these guys have lived with Birdman at some point.
What's his name? That's what happens when you're from the projects and you don't have money and you're around a rich nigga and you got talent. I ain't trying to hear that
But
shit.
he brought him in.
Mike, I know people like who like, how about this, Mike? Gotti, CMG, had a CMG. He used to sleep on Black Rob's couch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how it happens sometimes.
Exactly.
That doesn't make you a great businessman.
All I'm saying is the people that seem to sleep in his house seem to become superstars. I mean, it's kind of like with pro athletes, right? They have a lot of, high schools where they take in these kids that are, like you said, coming from certain environments, and a lot of them don't translate to the next level.
What's his name that did the what came out with the Slim Thug?
Mm-hmm. Already platinum.
Already platinum. So, Mike, he was signed to Star Trek. Mike, there's an actual story, a legitimate story about how when Pharrell went down to Houston, he went to this barbecue, and like literally there were thousands of people there, and they put Slim shit on, and everybody was singing the words to his shit, and Slim was really like the star in the neighborhood, and it was like a legit story about how Pharrell went down to Houston to check for him. Mike, you don't have any of these stories about Baby with any of these artists. That's why I'm telling you, it's like, well, did he source them out? And if so, where is the story? Because when you source out talent on this level, there is always a story about how you source them out. So when you're kicking that, well, somehow he found them, it's like, no, that's why I'm telling you. It's like, no, that sounds more like Wayne to me.
Well, how did he end up being associated with them and not Wayne?
Because Wayne's not a businessman like that. I think time has proven that.
So you think that
do you have any story for all these artists that you're talking about that has made his way to him?
So you think that Young Thug really wanted to go to Wayne, but the path had to be Birdman?
Okay, so Wayne for his era is what Jay was for the previous era, what Rakim was for a previous era to a lot of people. So the influence and the impact is like that. That's what I'm telling you. It's like, that's not Baby, that's Wayne. And until you can give me some stories that say otherwise, I'm going to take it as that. Because
who got Wayne there, though?
We don't. And I just told you, Mike, and I'm going to give him that for taking Wayne there and making Wayne that type of figure in the history of hip-hop that literally his iconic nature is enough to get a Nicki, to get a Drake, to get somebody years down the line. Like he did do that. He also took advantage of that man in the same breath while he was doing that too. And you have no stories about him really connecting with these other artists like that. I believe I heard something about the NBA YoungBoy thing one time, but the rest of it, Mike, it feel like Wayne to me. It looked like Wayne to me. It looked like Wayne's trajectory. It looks like Wayne's influence. It looked like Wayne's relationship because Wayne does work with everybody.
He does. Free with the super chat says, what stars have been since 2020? Mostly women, labels chasing Cardi money after 2018. Yeah, we could go on and on with this. But, yeah, I thought about that, man. I was like, man, Birdman has been around this game for a minute, man. I was listening to some Hot Boys stuff, and I was thinking about he has a whole lot of success stories under his belt in different generations and different eras, and it's just not a lot of people in the hip-hop sphere outside of like Jimmy Iovine or somebody like that I could actually say that about. You might even have to say a Leor Cohen or something too.
Like, here's what I mean, and he knows what's going on about how people talk about him, like, because he, like, you know, he does videos of stuff that guys that have a point to prove would do. Like, I don't know, take a video camera when BG's getting out so it can make it seem like you're taking care of him, because everybody knows you didn't do that shit when Turk got out. Right.
Again, I don't know the intricacies of any of that stuff, but I just know the success rate of the individual as a executive.
Mike, you should listen more often.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I've heard what people have to say, but I don't have any facts to back it. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get into the hearsay.
What Turk has said isn't a lie. What Juvie has said isn't a lie. What BG and Manny and these guys have said isn't a lie. What you mean you ain't heard it? Yes, you have. You've heard it out the original Camp's mouth. That's why I'm saying give it time. Hey. You've heard it out of Rick Ross's mouth. Has somebody that was like kind of bought into the crew on some crew love shit. Like, yes, you have heard this. You've heard it from.
Why don't you feel like Wayne is vocal about it? Because I think if Wayne,
because he really does look at him like a father figure.
Okay.
He's in the toughest spot a man could ever be in, because it's like, no, in a lot of ways, Baby raised him as a professional and as a man because his real father wasn't there. Like, that's different. And that's really the only pass that I'll give Wayne on it, is like that relationship is different. And it's definitely deeper than rap. And they've probably been through so much together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But outside of that, man, fuck all that.
Hey, man, again, do you think that the Cash Money thing even happens without Birdman, though?
Of course not. $30 million deal with Universal doesn't happen. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's like, oh no, I'm very mindful about like all the things that have been said about him as a businessman, and those things aren't attached to somebody, quite frankly, in the same damn city. Right up down the road, there's another mogul.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I love what Master P was able to do. He empowered, his.
Made his people go to business classes.
Yeah, he empowered his crew. He empowered everybody that was around. He wanted everybody to win. I didn't love the move with Beats by the Pound and all that. I think that he should have, given them a fair shake, because I think that was kind of the beginning of the end of No Limit in that regard, but. I will also acknowledge the fact that, outside of that, window of time, I would say 96 to 98, 99, maybe he just wasn't, in the music business in the way that, Birdman and them were. But as far as finding talent and stuff, I give him Fifth Ward Weebie. I think that was a pretty good find. I think that Soulja Slim, he went to No Limit first, I believe.
Correct.
Currency was with No Limit first.
Correct.
But a lot of that could have been part of the No Limit wave. Fiend was there first, too.
So here's how I feel about it, and this is what I'm saying. Like, the artist should be better off after departing from you from having been with you. And everybody that's been with him hasn't been better since departing from him. And I don't take that a sign of you being a good music business person or a boss, because that means you didn't teach them anything. That's why I bring up the Master P thing with Snoop. Is like, oh, well, what Master P did for Snoop trumps everything that Baby's done, because Snoop will tell you, I'm the boss that I am today because that man taught me how to be. That's more important sometimes than just signing somebody.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Right. And so it's like, it's like, is he great? It's like, no, but it's, Mike, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, you giving him this because he stuck around? Because that's what
I don't want to say. No, it's not just stuck around. Like, you're a part of some of the biggest names in every era. Ever since he got put on the map, I would say Juvenile is one of the biggest guys of his era, right?
Yes.
I would say that Wayne is one of the biggest guys of his era.
Yes.
Thug is one of the biggest guys of his era.
Yes.
NBA YoungBoy is one of the biggest guys of his era. And I'm not even counting the Nicki and Drake thing. So, I mean, those are accomplishments.
And I'm not taking any of
that away. It is what it is.
No, I'm not taking any of that away from him.
Yeah.
It just comes with a whole lot.
I think Irv Gotti says something to this regard, too. I mean, it's not.
Irv got niggas paid, though.
Yeah. And again, you're talking about two different things. Like, you're talking about something that is like more of a personal mission as opposed to, it's almost like, what's his name? Jerry Krause.
Mike.
He had a terrible relationship with the team and everybody in the Bulls organization outside of Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner. But the job that he did in getting Pippen, trading for Cartwright, scouting out Coop Coach, he did a great job.
Well, Mike, here's the
Like,
part.
it is what it is.
Well, here's the part that I think that you're not understanding is that no, when you're handling people's careers, when you're handling people's money, that's kind of personal, Mike. And so who you are as a person does matter when part of your job is to deal with people, artists, other businesses, radio stations. No, who you are as a person and your business integrity and your morals and your values, they do matter. Because you are handling people's lives.
Where does Universal fit in this mode? Because I think a lot of the times we put that on the individual moguls of the boutique labels, but the distributors, they kind of get in the wind with that. You know what I mean?
They handed him and his brother a check for $30 million. The responsibility belongs to them once they hand him the check. They didn't hand him the check. Universal didn't hand them that original check for $30 million, Mike, to assume liability for the shit. It's to pass the liability along. Here's $30 million. Go make it happen. The responsibility is on him at that point. So it's not on the distributor. That's what they're handing you the check for, so that they don't have to handle the shit or take the liability that comes with it.
Okay.
Because if so, what the fuck is the point of handing you the check if I have to come do checks and balances on that ass?
So it sounds like the black moguls can easily get put in the blame seat where
no, Jimmy Iovine ain't no saint, Mike. What's her name?
Well, Jimmy Iovine's name ain't on death row. It's Suge and Dre. He's in a scope. So any discrepancies people had in that death row situation, ain't nobody hollering at Jimmy about it. Nobody's hollering at Clive Davis about discrepancies they have with Puff.
Right, but Puff took that check from Arista.
Yeah.
Baby and Slim took that check from Universal.
Let me ask you something.
Dre and Suge took that check from Jimmy. So what we not about to do is like reverse racism and say like, oh, the white man absolves himself from this. It's like, nah, they wrote a check on some business shit for you to handle your business.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, because I saw Lil Duval post something like this before. Do you think, and especially when we're talking about young people, young artists who want to get on and want to get put on, do you think that they would take the money over the fame? Or do you think they would take the fame over the money?
Ooh, that's a scary proposition in today's era.
Because Birdman, honestly, regardless of what, and many of the things you're saying could be factual about Birdman, but what he did do was make these guys famous.
Granted, I think we come from an era, it's like, give me the money. I think things might be a little different now, and so I think that's a 50-50 proposition. Fucking with Birdman, you are going to be famous. But it's like, for me, and this is how it feels to me, well, you're promising both, and you're really only delivering on one in full. Because don't tell me that he's not promising these young black men that come from impoverished circumstances that he's not about to make them rich. Don't tell me that he's not doing that.
I don't know how rich they are or aren't.
That's what every music executive does.
Yeah. I mean, I think that a lot of people do also.
I'm going to make you rich and famous.
Yeah. AB Studios with the Super Chat says, how you feel about Puff giving back publishing? Who will follow?
And Puff played for Black Rob's funeral. That's what I'm saying is it's like, no, like he don't even look like Puff. Right.
Well, the story came out that I think Cam was saying something about Mace getting his publishing back. And this is literally right after, Cam and Mace signed their new deal or whatnot. And congratulations to them, because I think they have a great show and it's well deserved. And so after that story, it seemed to be another story coming out saying that, Puff's giving back all the publishing to all his artists. And I'm like, well, it's kind of coincidental. Mace just got a check and he got his publishing, sounds like, to me. But so I don't know. Again, when those parts of the industry come out, I don't really even like reporting on it too much, because I'm sure we don't know the real details. We don't know the truth. People don't really put out the real information when it comes to stuff like that. So we can kind of only go off of hearsay.
I mean, also too, okay, so let's just juxtapose this and leave it right here because we got to go soon anyway.
Yeah.
Puff. I don't do that Diddy shit. It named Puff to me. He's enabled to even be able to do that financially because he's ventured outside of this realm of hip hop and made himself so much money, has a hip hop brand and spokesman outside of the core of hip hop and hip hop music. You understand what I'm saying? That probably at his age and at this stage in the game, he has so many checks coming in from so many different things he's been a part of that he can start giving the artists that he took advantage of a reprieve and hand them their publishing back. But for the guy that you're talking about who's chosen to stay in music and who lives on this for his survival and way of doing it, do you think he's going to do that? No, because he hasn't ventured off into enough other things and getting checks from other places that he'll ever do that for his artist, in my estimation. Because if so, he would have did it for the one who deserved it the most, and that's Wayne. And
Wayne put Cash Money on his back.
And if it hasn't happened for Wayne, Mike, what makes you think it's about to happen for anybody else when he calls that man his son?
I think the only thing, like I said, and I agree with many of the things that you're saying.
I hear where you're coming from,
but the fact that artists keep coming to him for whatever reason, I don't know what's being discussed.
No, I'll tell you what, this is one of your better devil's advocates topics that you've given, because you're saying some very, very valid things. His resume is glorious.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything around the resume leaves it like really shrouded to me.
Because we've even seen when it comes to Puff, right?
Like you heard some shit about this at Top Dog with CTE. Have you heard shit like this about Top?
Well, see, this is the thing. We've always heard this stuff, and again, I don't know how valid or whatever, because again, people will say what they say about Puff, and I think it's affected.
No, some of that shit real.
I think it's affected Puff's ability to get new artists, though.
Hell yeah.
It hasn't affected Birdman's ability.
And that's why I'm telling you it's Wayne.
But I don't know about that either. Like, I don't know, man.
Like, the way that this game goes, when something happens to you like this, artists don't gravitate towards you unless they have a reason to. I'm telling you, Wayne's the reason. Like.
But if him and Wayne aren't good, then how is Wayne the reason?
But look at when all these guys got signed. That's why I'm saying, no, most of these guys are inking these deals when him and Wayne are good.
Not NBA Youngboy.
That's why I said, Mike, I'm not so certain. I was like, and I told you, I was like, I think I heard something directly about him and NBA Youngboy, so I'll give you that. But the rest of the shit Wayne to me. Because when you do this as an artist, like, it hurts you. Like, it hurt Suge that Dre left, like, as much as he didn't want to admit it. That's why he doubled.
Of course.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah. If Jay Prince having a problem with Scarface, no, that hurts in the town.
CJ
you know
Kid with the super chat says, the chat saying the Big is still signed to Puff. Damn. Esquire with the super chat says, what are your top 5 non-Ye/Jay Rockefeller albums? I think Philadelphia Freeway is a really dope album, but I'm going to go The Becoming. Probably is my number one. And it might be The Truth.
Is The Becoming on Rockefeller?
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's on Dame Dash Music. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Becoming's not on Rockefeller. I think I might go Philadelphia Freeway.
I think The Truth is better, but
I was going to go The Truth after that, but you know what? Purple Haze, Come Home With Me.
Is Purple Haze Rockefeller?
It might not be. Come Home With Me is Rockefeller. I know that.
So The Truth, Philadelphia Freeway, Come Home With Me. I'm going to say Streets is Watching soundtrack.
Oh, man, you got to go to soundtracks?
I do.
This is way more difficult than I thought.
I said no yay, no Jay.
You're right. I know we got to get out of here in a minute.
The Understanding?
Nah. Not a big fan of that one. What did you think about the Chris and Neef album?
It was cool.
Young Guns. Yeah. Santana stuff is Diplomats.
Yeah.
All right.
Jay was the label, man.
Yeah, and then Ye was the label.